All right. This is um, Dev from the Start. It's a tutorial podcast because I've been asked a few times to do tutorial videos. So this podcast covers just a lot of web development things and tools from the start, so you can learn HTML, CSS. We're going to cover some PHP and MySQL uh, over the life of this video. So I don't know how long this is going to last. It might be very short. It might go on for a while. So anyway, if you are, this is episode 2. If you haven't done episode 1 and installed Aptana Studio and the PHP development tools, or PDT, go and do that video first, and then you'll be all caught up, which it's not that far to go. Also, I tend to mess up and figure things out along the way. I am not in. I mean, I'm not a an expert. I mean, I know a lot, but I will say I do a lot of code throughout the day. But as far as teaching, it I, my videos go down south really quick. So just once things start going wrong, they'll start going wrong, and I'm not gonna edit. I'll just keep on going. So and that's what we're gonna do is just this is Aptana, and just gonna try to get you familiar with Aptana. First thing you want to do inside Aptana is understand where your workspace is. So if you go to File and switch Workspace Other, it'll show you the current workspace that you're using. Where you see mine is Home / Jamal Aptana Studio 3 workspace. Just remember where that is, because what we're gonna need to do is until we get into a local host server and things like that, we're going to need to open some of these project files out inside that are inside the workspace. So just remember where that is, and hopefully after a while you'll be familiar with Aptana, and when you know Aptana, you'll know Eclipse. So that's the good thing. So what we're going to do is when you're in Aptana, you have this App Explorer, you have your Project Explorer, and we're going to create a project. You can click use this little button here, but just get in the habit of going to File, New, and just New Project, and brings up this little dialog box with the different things you can do. Eclipse is very versatile. You can do everything from Android development to desktop development and web development, all kinds of stuff. So just get in the habit of just do a new project, because you might get stop using Aptana and just go and use Eclipse. Like I use Eclipse on a regular basis, where you can see this is the Eclipse I use regularly, but for these tutorials I'm using Aptana. Eventually I will show you that Eclipse and the stuff I have installed and set up in there. But anyway, we're going to start a new web project. So just click Web Project, and we're going to name this Hello World, and choose Finish. And now you see this is our App Explorer. We're in that particular project, and there's nothing for you to see. And if we go to Project Explorer, you can see the little folder and little nothing in there. So let's just right click and do New File. And we're going to go ahead and create a index file, index.htm, or you could do HTML, but let's do HTML and choose Finish. And what the index file is the first file that uh, that is served to the web browser when someone goes to a page. So if you go to www.something.com, it's actually going to be opening www.something.com/index.html. On some servers, it might be default dot HTML or default.asp. You can, when you're configuring a server, you can make it whatever you like, but typically it's going to be index.html, index.htm, or index.php, or it could be Java pages, it could be ASP, it could be a lot, but it's going to be index.something. So we're going to start with index.html. And since this is a hello world, we're going to just make a basic page, and I'm going to explain a couple of the tags, or actually all the tags and what a tag is and everything. But first, what I want you to do, like I said in the video, is install Chrome. So just go ahead and open Google Chrome, and I'm going to stop that loading. And to open up um, the file, just hit Control O, and it'll bring up your dialog box and navigate to your workspace directory. And you see, once I go into my workspace directory, there's our hello world. Go in there, and there's our index HTML. So we go in there, and there we go. We're now in the um, in the page with nothing in it. Now, when you're doing development, you want to get in the habit of just opening up the inspector in Chrome by holding down Control, then Shift, then J, and it'll bring up the properties inspector and all kinds of tools. And that's what we want to have up when you're doing some development, but we'll talk about all that later. So now, since we'll go back to Aptana, and one thing I am going to do, and you'll see my window shift a little bit, is I'm going to slide my window over to another side, and let's see if I go back to Aptana. I'm going to slide it so that I can just go back and forth between the two windows. I know there's ways of doing it on Mac and Windows, I'm not sure, but this is just going to make the videos a little easier to stand. So first off, let's start off with you're gonna learn what these tags are instead of them just being there. So what we're gonna do is you want to define the document type, and the doc type. We'll get into this later, but you're just gonna, if you saw that there was a little code completion once I started typing. Once I hit this, um, and I did the less than sign, you see I get options in the doc type. It's gonna go ahead and give me that option to just hit enter and start that. And um, pretty soon I'll get a little better at explaining these things. And the doc type is just gonna be HTML. So you want to have that at the beginning of every page that you write. And next, we're going to start the actual HTML. So the next tag is going to be HTML. And you see, as I go, it's going to go ahead and start filling in, completing the tag. So we're going to do HTML. See, we have a little warning here. And you can see it'll kind of help you along. And your goal is to have no warnings at the end of this thing. You just want to have it nice and an empty sidebar here. So the next tag after the HTML, which is the entire document, you want to have a head. And what the head is the head contains all of the information, like if you're going to have JavaScript, the title of the page, a lot of things, your style sheet information and stuff like that. So I'll go into this more in depth later, but we're gonna add a title tag in the head. So just go ahead and type title. You go hit enter, and we're gonna call this hello world, hello world, and then learn to type hello world dash, and I'm just gonna say title so you can see where that shows up. So actually we can just go ahead and see where that's going right now. So I'm just gonna hit Control S to save, and then I'm gonna move over here and refresh, and now you can see hello world title. If I'm on Linux and it wants to show me this little bar, so let me double click this now and see if I can get it to where. But you see hello world title, and then it adds to Google Chrome. But we can change that to whatever we like. So whatever, whatever. All right, and you save that, and if we refresh, that's where that shows up. All right. So next, we're going to work on the body of the page. So after the head tag, and you see how it's automatically adding these tabs for me to keep my code clean, I'm going to go ahead and put my body tag. And if you hold down control and hit space, it'll force that help window open. And I will just go ahead and set my body tag. And now once you see we have a complete structure, that little warning went away. So now our body tag um, is where all the stuff that belongs in your web page, like any content, pictures, and everything, all that's going to go in here. Um, JavaScript is usually going to go in the head. CSS is going to go in the head. So next, I'm just going to go ahead and do what's a H1, which is a header tag. And I'm just going to do a H1. So I'll just go ahead and do H1. And inside there, I'm going to put hello world. Man, I can't type. It's the evening. It's after work. And um, there's our hello world. I'm going to do Control S to save. I'm going to go over to our page. And there we go. That is a successful page. I know it's not much, but look, you can see down here in the inspector, there's our H1, our hello world. We can expand this. There's our title. And here's the cool thing about the inspector. You can just double click on here and, change stuff. And you see it'll change it right here. And you can also change the values of things. Let's say like hello world. We don't want that bold. And you see now that I'm selected on this, I can put, and don't worry about the CSS stuff now, but I'm going to do font weight normal. Well, if I would have did it right. So let's go font weight normal, and you see now it has changed to normal instead of being bold, and we can change the font size. But if we refresh, it goes back to normal. It's not permanent, but it's just where you can test things out. So you want to really play around with just understanding what the inspector does. You can see like this when I'm hovering over top of that H1, you can see that orange, and then you can see the blue. Those are part of the metrics. If you go into metrics, you see that's the margin. There's no border, but there's no padding, but the blue part is actually the content area. And you want to get used to understanding what those colors do. So that's a Hello World tutorial for using Aptana to get your code started. That's your first little bit of code, and that's it. That's the end of episode 2, and hopefully I will come up with a good lesson for episode 3, because so it'll be probably about a week or two for the next episode. So, all right, thanks.